Welcome, Johan Johanneson, to Supply Chain 600 Seconds. You are Director Global Transport at a company called Arjo. Can you tell us about the company and about yourself and your position, please?
Yes, first of all, thank you, and I'm very happy to be here. Arjo is a Swedish-founded company working in medical equipment and related services area. Founded in Eslöv outside outside Malmö, 1957 by Arne Johansson. Today, the head office has moved to Malmö, and our CEO is Joachim Lindorff. We are roughly 6,200 employees globally. So we are a global player. We are serving customers in more than 100 countries around the world. From our manufacturing sites globally as well. We are present in China. We are present in Poland with production. We have production in UK. We have production in Dominican Republic and in Canada, outside Montreal. We have 3 main DCs, which are in Europe, in Netherlands, and then we have in the US, and we have in Canada as well. So that's our supply chain as such. As a company, turnover just short of 10 billion Swedish crowns. And as I said, we are producing medical equipment from patient handling equipment, medical beds, quite a big range from quite technical products to in the other end maybe very easy floor lifters or similar but the main part here is for patient handling within the care facility.
Okay. Have you seen a boom now during the pandemic in your production and demand?
Yes, we have. So there is of course a vast difference between products, but for example, medical beds is of course quite well known that hospitals need more equipment during the pandemic. So yes. But there is a difference between different categories of products.
Yes, of course. And you are Director of Global Transport. Can you tell us about what your main responsibilities are?
So my main responsibility is everything that moves outside of our facilities. So I'm involved in mainly, of course, the ocean, air, and those traditional transports, but also involved in our own fleets. So we have quite big rental fleets globally with, I don't know exact amount, but if we're talking the bigger countries, we're talking fleets of 100 to 150 trucks where we are renting out equipment to hospitals, for example, mattresses, where the hospital is calling us and we serve them within hours with an appropriate mattress for that type of patient. And then when the treatment is done or they have a different need, it's then returned, cleaned, and sent out to a different customer. So it's quite a big operation in that field as well. But main focus is still on our global transport third-party flows, so to say, the ocean transport, the rail, the road, and parcel shipments.
Do you have a lot of inbound transports as well?
Yes. So we have quite a lot of inbound to all continents. So we are served from most continents, and then also outbound to most continents. So it's in both directions. So yes, we do have quite big flows, and mainly we are talking ocean and road transport there. Very little inbound managed by air.
Do you have a lot of like internal transports between the sites, or do you want to avoid that?
We do avoid it to the extent possible. We are routing our equipment directly from our factories, in the sense if the factory is continental. But if we're talking, for example, our production in Poland being distributed in the US, we're running those through our DC in the US. But then on the service parts is directly from our DCs and out.
Okay. Now we're going to talk specifically about digitalization of the supply chain and about transportation, of course. Can you tell us how you work with digitalization within the supply chain? What your main
Yes.
areas work is?
Uh, we're working quite broadly, and I like to view it as an automation project in some sense. And also, I think that especially the pandemic here right now has showcased that a lot of people are sitting at home ordering e-commerce, and you get your track and trace and everything. And that's what you bring to work next day. And that is the expectation now also in B2B business, that you are in control of your shipments, you know where they are, and you know when they will arrive. It's also very helpful in terms of predicting your future inventory to assess if you're in a good or bad position. But I would say that we have taken some really good steps in terms of implementing a TMS. And we have track and trace of all modes of shipping globally for all sites, which means we're in quite good shape. We are also building this together with our ERP information so that we can track and trace down on item level. So we are beyond the part where we say the truck is outside Berlin and will arrive tomorrow morning at 8. We can actually search on a specific item in our chain to see where is it exactly. And that is actually built together also with our ERP, so that if you're looking at, for example, a DC is looking to a factory where they are getting replenished with any given frequency, and if they search that item, they can see that I have 10 in production, 10 that are in the warehouse being picked and packed, 10 has been dispatched and is going to arrive in 3 weeks. 10 is coming in 2 days. So they can forward project, then looking at their forecast, are we going to run dry, yes or no? So it's been a very big work to create this and to connect all the systems together. And I would
How do
say
you,
that
sorry, but how do you capture this information? Is it many sources, or do you have more like a
yes,
real-time system?
we have both. It depends on how you see it. If you're talking, for example, a parcel shipment, UPS and the likes are not giving you a live data feed of where the shipment is. They're giving you a last scan, so it just tells you where it last was. So considering that, that is semi-live, I would say, as we can only see what UPS is providing us or any other of the big parcel providers. But if we're talking ocean shipments, yes, we have a live view of all our containers, also available on dashboards where we can see what ships they are loaded on and where in the world they are, and latest and greatest projected ETA. And the good part, which we have achieved now, is that we have a planned ETA or a committed ETA to either a customer or to an internal site, is that we can project the latest from the ocean carriers, from the vessels, to see if they are going to meet the ETA that we had planned for. So very early on, we can, if there is, as today is a good example, a ship in the Suez Canal has gone sideways. And within 10 minutes, we had a complete overview of which containers are affected, what's in those containers, and who are they heading for. So we have already sent out information with links and pictures of it, and also our tracking view of which containers are affected and what material and customers are affected. So we had all of that sent out prior to lunch today. And that's quite fast, I would say, and not
Yes.
something we would have achieved maybe 2 years ago. So it's really proving to be very, very useful, and especially being upfront and proactive. So That has always been the challenge for within transport. We've all talked about the proactiveness, but it has always been somewhat reactive. Something has happened, but right now we assess we have ships en route into the Suez Canal. They will be affected.
Yeah.
We don't know with how much yet, but at least we can already now highlight that if anything is running dry, we do have options to solve it right now with alternate routes.
There's pictures of the like traffic jam in the Suez Canal as we speak.
Yes,
So yeah.
yes.
So it seems as if you have come quite far in your work with digitalization. What would you say is your vision for the next 3 to 5 years?
My vision is to come further when we are talking more of a black box operation in terms of that it should be master data driven, rule based driven, and we should focus on, for example, situations like the Suez Canal today. Uh, I would still say that we are spending too much time on some specific manual tasks, which is what we are working on currently of how do we automate these flows and how do we streamline our processes in a way that we can automate it later on. So we are building as much capability as we can to try and remove all manual tasks. May it be sending bill of ladings, or if it is, as we've talked now, this one is removed now with track and trace, but getting the information from carriers, etc., and trying to really reduce the time we spend with carriers on phone for getting information or booking shipments or derouting. Instead, trying to get all of that as automated as possible. And it also goes down to all of our KPIs to see how are we tracking with costs, fill rates, sustainability, etc., to get all of these dashboards completely automated in terms of we should not spend time on things which are master data driven. And we're also working quite closely on how do we interact even better with our ERP system, and how do we what we're working on now is push notifications for our customers in terms of if a delay appears. That removes quite a lot of work from just alerting the customer that something is not working as it should. So we're working quite broadly, but I would say that one of the main tasks is also to sew all of these different systems together. We've come a long way, but there is still parts where we need to do more.
There's always more
Yeah,
challenges to come. Thank you very much, Johan Johanneson.
thank you.